Nearly 20 years ago, Creative Commons changed the landscape of sharing, learning, and creating. In this brief video, we'll take a look at the history and evolution of copyright law in the U.S., the pioneers who drew attention to the tension between the restrictions of copyright law and the age of digital information and sharing, the development of Creative Commons since its inception, and what Creative Commons means today and how we can participate. In prehistoric and ancient times, stories were shared and carried on by fireside, written on walls, and copied onto parchment by countless scribes. Music was taught by rote, songs evolved and survived through oral tradition, and artwork was created, displayed, and copied by many. Eventually, however, we humans wanted credit for our work, and we wanted to protect it. It was part of our identity, so of course we wanted it to be ours. So it's no surprise that less than 2 decades after the United States gained independence, we started the copyright journey, and we began acquiring and reserving rights to the work we created. So, in 1790, our first copyright laws were enacted, protecting charts, maps, and books, among other things. After the advent of the camera and film, photographs joined the list of copyrighted items in 1865. And in 1972, as people inserted their 8-track tapes with abandon, recorded music was added to copyright law. Groovy, man. Through the years, copyright duration was extended, and in 1998, Sonny Bono started what became known as the Mickey Mouse Act, Copyright Term Extension Act. This meant that works would not become public domain until 70 years after the creator's death. Whoa, that's heavy, man. Then came the internet and digital information, and with it, a tension arose between what technology enables and what copyright restricts. Copyright had been protecting the products of our creativity and how they are used since 1790. Now, digital technology had made it possible to share work widely and freely, once the terms of copyright have come to an end. When Sonny Bono and the courts extended the terms of copyright yet again, he put a bit of a stranglehold on the digital sharing that was spreading throughout the internet, and not everyone was pleased. The product of that tension was a bridge, Creative Commons, built to resolve this tension and, as Jesse Dillon stated in A Shared Culture, to save the world from failed sharing. It started in 2002 with Lawrence Lessig and a web publisher named Eric Eldred. Eldred had been making works available on the internet once they had passed out of their copyright terms. And a collection of Robert Frost poetry, New Hampshire, was about to pass out of copyright and into the public domain. That is, until Bono and Mickey Mouse got their hands on the copyright law. This meant none of the copyrighted works created in 1923 by Frost would pass into the public domain until 2019. Eldred believed this continuous extension of copyright was unconstitutional, so you might say he decided to attempt poetic justice. Lessig took on the case, believing strongly that Eldred was right. Lessig believed, in my view, our constitutional system placed such a limit on copyright as a way to ensure that copyright holders do not too heavily influence the development and distribution of our culture. Yet, as Eldred discovered, copyrights have not expired and will not expire so long as Congress is free to be bought to extend them again. And now copyright law does get in the way. Every step of producing this digital archive of our culture infringes on the exclusive right of copyright. To digitize a book is to copy it. To do that requires permission of the copyright owner. The same holds for music, film, and every other artifact of our culture protected by copyright. The effort to make these things available to history or to researchers or to those who just want to explore is now inhibited by a set of rules that were written for a radically different context. Lessig and Eldred lost, but in the wake of that case, Creative Commons was built. So what is a commons? It's important to understand this as we talk about Creative Commons. It's built on 3 pillars, you might say. It is community-born. That means it's built on the needs we have for information, sharing, and creativity, comprising the diversity of our world, including all who need and share, and open to the public. It's cost-free. The use and sharing aren't dependent on wealth or financial consideration. Free and open sharing benefits the creators and the community. And it's creativity-driven. It strengthens the continual thread of creativity that runs through the history of humankind, building on the works and innovation of the past and continuing to move forward with our creations. Creative Commons is organized and mobilized to build on those foundations. It includes a set of legal tools regarding copyright and sharing protocols, a nonprofit organization, a global network, and a worldwide movement. And the Commons that was born nearly 20 years ago has become a powerful global entity. Today, Creative Commons comprises almost 2 billion works across 9 million websites. The Creative Commons Global Network has over 700 members across over 40 chapters. And then there are the network platforms. Open Education, a space for advocates and educators to share content, practices, and policy activities. Copyright, which is dedicated to identifying, planning, and coordinating activities related to copyright law. Creative Commons GLAM, which stands for galleries, libraries, archives, and museums. This is a space for GLAM professionals and others to share resources, enhance collaboration, and raise awareness on open access to digital cultural heritage. So, how can I be a Creative Commons bridge builder? Here are a few A, B's, and C's. Advocate. Be a Creative Commons herald. In your workplace, your creative space, and your educational space, raise awareness and interest in Creative Commons, open sharing, and the creators whose work enhance our lives. Buy in. Use the resources. Go to open educational resources for your content and teaching. Lead your students and colleagues into the Commons. Become a part of the organization. Contribute. The Commons is built on creation and innovation, and that includes yours. Use your expertise, talent, and interest to broaden the collection of knowledge and artifacts within the Commons and share them with others.